Hello. Today we're going to talk about why building a functional fitness program can be a little bit lonely. My name is Chris Butterworth. This is the Healthy Butter Fitness channel. I am 56 years old and I feel great. And I owe it to my functional fitness program. When I turned 50, I was broken down, back pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, and I spent a lot of time figuring out what was going to make me feel better. And I landed on functional fitness, kettlebell, clubs, Mace. And over the course of 4 years, it's changed my life. I'm a completely different person. I'm a better person now than I was when I turned 50. And I'm trying to share that with you. I'm trying to build the channel here on YouTube that didn't exist when I was getting started. What works, what doesn't work for people in their 50s and 60s, fighting against father time every day, every step of the way, and trying to feel young. So as we start doing this, as we get into a functional fitness program, there are some challenges. Not just that it's hard to find exactly what to do online. There's a lot of really good practitioners online showing you really good information, but putting it together into a program wasn't as easy as I thought it should be. But also, when you take it offline, nobody knows what you're talking about. Nobody does functional fitness yet. They will, because it works, and athletes are using kettlebells and clubs and functional fitness methodology, and high-end trainers are bringing this in, and you're seeing more of it online. Like, we're at the very beginning of a change in movement, but we are fighting against 50 years of the gym bro culture, where chest and biceps, look at the action movie heroes from the early 70s to the early 80s to the 90s to today. Everybody is just this big, this big, this big, ripped abs. And that's the more insane that the bodies get on screen, the more people try to follow that and the more that becomes normal. And we're 50 years in, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of brought this in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, Gold's Gym, that whole movement. So we're fighting a long term of what people think is healthy or is functional, and it's not the right way. But that said, I have a large network of work contacts, friends, family members. I play tennis, so I have my tennis team. There's a whole tennis league. I am reasonably well connected in real life. I have a Facebook profile, but I don't love online social networking. But in real life, I have a pretty vibrant network of people. And I do not know one other person who trains this way. So, as much as it's, from a fitness standpoint, it's all I think about. It's the videos that I watch. It's what I research. It's articles that I read. It's what I practice. This is building my program so that I can feel great is what I do. And I'm 1%, right? Out of 300, 400 people that I'm connected to, 500 people, maybe if I start to reach. I don't know anybody else who does this. A couple people do kettlebell, a couple people do obstacle coursing. But the guys that do kettlebell only do swings, and it's like an add-on to their other gym program. They don't do it as a functional fitness, an entire routine. Gym is the primary thing that they do. So kind of on an island. And if I'm this into it and I'm on an island, and I know this many people and I'm talking about it all the time, I can only imagine if you're starting out and you're trying to get support from your buddy at work or your spouse or whatever it is, it can feel a little bit lonely. The other thing is this is really nuanced. It's different. The difference between, like when you're holding a mace, the difference between my 13.75 pound mace and my 15.5 pound mace are different enough that I use them for different exercises. And my 20 pound mace is my heavy mace. And that's only 6.25 pounds difference between 3 different styles of what I'm able to do with it. You talk to a gym guy and they all sound really light. I mean, like their mind thinks of it in terms of a dumbbell, and he's picking up two 50-pound dumbbells, to do some chest work or something. So it's just the comparison and the nuance, the level of complexity of what you're doing with a mace, of how you're working a club, holding a kettlebell above your arm while you're twisting your hips, or above your head while you're doing either a windmill or a Turkish get up. Like the complexity and the nuance in what we're doing in functional fitness isn't really replicated in the gym. So as you're talking about it, people might be supportive of what you're trying to do, and friends always want you to be successful in whatever it is you're doing, but people don't understand it because it's just really different. Another piece where it's really different is the endurance part of strength endurance is what makes it hard. Functional fitness is really about strength endurance. It's not just, can I lift a 100-pound kettlebell up over my head? It's, can I take my 25-pound kettlebell and swing it around for 20 minutes without putting it down, up and down and this way and this arm, and doing all these different things with it without putting it down. It is, when you first pick it up, it's 25 pounds, big freaking deal. But after a few minutes, it is really hard. And my goal is 24 minutes and I can't get there yet. So it's a long progression. The endurance part of strength endurance is what makes it hard. And the gym guys don't understand that, right? They do endurance. They might do cardio. Maybe they run on a treadmill, or they do the exercise bike, or they do the elliptical. But they're not doing bench press for 12 minutes, right? That doesn't compute. What we're trying to do with functional fitness doesn't translate to what the normal culture is out there. CrossFit is probably the closest thing. People that do CrossFit understand strength endurance because they might go run a half mile and then come back and do a bunch of burpees and then have to pick something up really heavy. They are combining cardio with strength. It's probably the most similar thing that I can think of. And I did a video about this. I think CrossFit, for me, it worked really well in my 30s. It doesn't work as well in my 50s. I think there's a culture there where you're pushing really hard. And I think here in functional fitness, in our 50s, I try to go to 70 to 80% capacity, and I try to do it every day. And it doesn't quite break down, but if you're talking about how hard these workouts are because you're gassing your entire body in one workout, and it's just after 15 minutes you want to quit, but you're able to go through and get to 20 minutes or whatever, your CrossFit people are probably the people that can relate the best. So it's lonely. You're on an island. You're in the 1%. When you think about all the people that you know, and then you think about how many of them are fit, it's a pretty small percentage. And then you think about how many of them do kettlebells, and it's maybe 1 or 2. And then you think about adding clubs, mace, maybe sandbag, maybe flow ropes, maybe Tai Chi, maybe, I'm trying to think of what else, animal flow, some of these things where you're really opening the way that your body moves with rotation, with how your body was built to move. Nobody does it. You're all alone. So if it feels lonely, it's because it is lonely. And I hope that this channel is a place that we can share. I will tell you that friends notice. So even though nobody knows what I do, even though nobody understands what I do, there's nobody to talk about it, I will tell you, I've had a couple of different comments over the last year or two. On my tennis team, I'm one of the older guys on the team, and I play singles. Until this year, I'm actually going to stop. I'm going to retire into doubles because it's beating me up a little bit. But that notwithstanding, the guys on my team are pretty convinced that I'm going to play singles forever because I cover the court really well. I can do things with a racket that other people can't do. My serve is really good for somebody my age, whatever. It's nice to hear the people notice how well I move for my age and compliment on it. I had a buddy of mine that our wives were going on a little biking tour. bikes on bars or brunch on bars, brunch on bikes or something like that, whatever. And he and I were putting our wives' bikes into the back of his truck. And we lifted the front tire up, and he doesn't move as well as I do. And so we didn't talk about it. We didn't think about it, anything, but I just pushed off the back of the truck and elevated up into the bed, just kind of hopped up into the bed so that I could get up there and pull the bike up. And he was like, effing ninja, like, what just happened? You were standing next to me and now you're in the bed. He makes comments like that because he can't do what I can do. Of all the guys in our group, when we go out and do stuff, I'm the guy that do that stuff. Similar, one step further on that regard, somebody said, we were watching, what's the movie with the Ryan Gosling stuntman movie, Fall Guy. We were watching the Fall Guy, and somebody commented that I could have been a stuntman because I'm the one that does all that stupid stuff, right? I'm the one that would, of all the people, I'm the one that would be, jumping off a roof or doing something stupid, climbing a tree. And it's because I can. And it's because I love feeling like a kid. Feeling young and being able to treat the world as a playground, to me, is exciting. And I love it. And I'm not going to stop, right? But they see the results. They know that I'm fit. They know that I feel good. But I can't talk to them about it. They don't understand it. They don't really want in. They'll talk about their shoulder problems. And when I say, hey, let's get you a club, let's talk about this, they don't want it. So you're kind of on an island. So hopefully we created here a safe space, comments, a place that you can at least check out, get opinions. If you leave a comment, I'm always going to reply. I would love for this to be a community, and hopefully you're able to get what you need. I hope that being on an island and having a workout that's a little bit lonely doesn't stop you from doing it, because the results are night and day. Fix your body, feel good, it's worth it. And we'll stop there. Have a great day. Go get better.